I'm George Cordes for the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts in beautiful Blue Mountain Lake, New York, in the heart of the Adirondacks. And I'd like to welcome you to the next live stream event in our ALCA-Seltzer series, Online Relief from the Headaches of Social Distancing. During its 53-year history, the Arts Center's mission has always been to present, promote, and celebrate the arts, both in our beloved historic building and throughout the Adirondack region. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck, we started this online series so that we could continue to connect with our audiences, both near and far, despite the fact that, for everyone's safety, we are temporarily unable to gather here in person. Our virtual series this summer and fall has included concerts, workshops, the visual arts, and even elements of the Adirondack Lakes Summer Theater Festival, which unfortunately has been postponed to 2021. A wide range of activities that reflects what the Arts Center has offered and will offer again once the danger of COVID-19 has passed. Thanks to all the talented folks who have been and will be part of our ALCA-Seltzer series. And to you, our supporters. Though we currently come into your homes through your smartphones and laptops, we look forward to when we can all gather again in person to celebrate the arts.
This song is called Warrior, W-A-R-R-I-O-R, because I can't spell it. Warrior. Would get the world on its feet. I am the one. Backwards, tongue-tied and smitten. I am the one. Lost will lead me. But if I was, I would run the same way. I'm not a warrior. I'm not a god. I'm not a warrior. But if I was, I would say I love you. Barefoot on Central Avenue, I am the one. Backwards, tongue-tied and smitten, I am the one. Lost will lead me. Unwritten love. I am the one who would be barefoot, who would be barefoot. Thank you. So that is Warrior. This next one is called 518. So this is for all of you that are a part of the 518 or whatever the new area code is now. I don't remember. But this is for those that still have a 518 area code. Darling, 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 don't you know how hard it is for me to get from my heart to you, to you. Darling, 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 don't you know how hard it is for me? Many miles, how they separate, but long, long after you rest your eyes. Honey, the words, they come my disguise. But darling, darling, don't you know I would run to your door, trying to find out what in this life, what in this 518 I am looking for. What in this 518 I am looking for. But darling, 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 don't you know how hard it is for me to get from my heart and my inability to get from my darling, 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 don't you know how hard it is for me? Many miles, how they separate, but long, long after you rest your eyes. Honey, how the skies, they hold my disguise. But darling, 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 don't you know I would run to your door, trying to find out what in this life I am, what I am looking for. What I am looking for, I would run. I would run. I would run. Thank you. So this one's called Sleep. Don't we all need it? woodchuck could, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, this is not much work. This is not much work. If I have enough, have enough, baby. All that I need is sleep, is sleep. All that I need is sleep. It is sleep. If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Does it make a sound? Ha! There's not much of that around. If I have enough, have enough, baby. All that I need is sleep. All that I need is sleep. I can conquer the world. I know that baby, I can conquer the world. It is sleep. All that I need, it is sleep. Sleep. All that I need, all that I need. Thank you. This one's called Brown Eyes. glass of wine. I prefer to take my time and savor it all, savor it all with these candle lights and these brown eyes. How they hold my gaze and my amazement. I've been around the world once or twice, but all that I seem to find is written in these candle lights and these brown eyes. How they hold my gaze and my amazement. Take one bottle down and pass it around. Nothing looks this good without these candlelight and these brown eyes. How they hold my gaze and my Thank you.
You have been watching a special live stream brought to you by the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts. And if you'd like to see our virtual and live programming continue, please consider making a donation. Go to AdirondackArts.org and press the donate button. While you're there, check out everything else we have going on, including our ALCA-Seltzer shorts, our ALCA-Seltzer workshops, and our virtual art galleries featuring the fantastical artwork of Sarah Price. We now present the second half of this special ALCA-Seltzer stream. All right, well, we're talking with Ryan Leddick, originally from Indian Lake, and now from Albany, New York.
Hello.
Hello, Ryan.
That is true, yes.
Yes. So could you tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you grew up, how it was in coming from Indian Lake and moving to the big city?
Small Albany.
Right, Small Albany, there you go. And becoming a performer.
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. So, growing up in such a small town, you had the ability to get involved in things that normally in a larger capacity you wouldn't have. So whether it be a larger college or a larger hamlet that you grew up in, a lot of times if there's more people per capita in like the school district, you aren't able to like get on the music team or get on the sports team, but like in such a small town you have to be able to harvest all of these people. And so a lot of people played a lot of different roles. And so in that I was able to like kind of experience the music department, experience all of what a small town can offer and harvest a multi-endeavored experience, I guess you could call it. So going into college, I found myself really fixated on music. And as I progressed through college, I found myself in my science programs, like listening down the hall to the music department and like hearing them gaggling and like giggling over like music theory and watching their concerts and stuff. And then I finally decided to go in there and talk to one of the professors, and from there I ended up getting involved in the music program, going to school for music, graduating from 2 different colleges, and then finding out that I can actually make music off of this and make money off of this.
Right.
Not so much make music, but make money off the music.
Sure. And I should mention, of course, we've got traffic going on
Yes.
back and forth behind Ryan, and this is the weekend. This is a Saturday, and the Rustic Furniture Fair is in town up in here
Yes.
in Blue Mountain Lake. So it's nice to see people around. We are staying socially distanced. So tell me, you come from a family of musicians, don't you? And very creative people.
I do. From what I can gather from talking to my parents, from a young age, I was sitting in the kitchen with pots and pans and wooden spoons, banging until headaches ensued. So I can only imagine what I was like as a child, but I do come from a long line of people that pick up instruments by ear and play them proficiently. I'm not that experienced as they are, but having gone to school for classical music, I do find myself finding that talent very wonderful to fall back on, but it's always that passion that always drives me.
So tell me a little bit, how was it when you go to school for music? Where were you at? How did you make that decision?
Yeah, so I initially went to a community college because college is very expensive, and I wanted to make sure what I wanted to do is exactly what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to waste money doing it. So I went to a community college for biochem. I was going to become a pathologist and work in the morgue.
That's a happy job.
Well, you know, Halloween's coming, so so as I sort of got into that spirit of science and being a lab rat, I found myself becoming a little more lonely, and I wasn't as happy with myself, and I started to feel that I had a different purpose, and so that's when I started to like experiment with like music again, and that's when I started talking to some of those professors. So having gone to SUNY Adirondack and graduated in 2011, that's when I started looking at colleges primarily for music. I looked at Temple, I looked at Carnegie Mellon, I looked at a few colleges in the city. I looked at Boston Conservatory.
Okay, my alma mater.
Oh, okay. Just because I wanted to go to school for classical music, because if you know how to use your instrument, you can do whatever you want.
Right. Like
So
projecting your voice over the traffic.
exactly,
Right.
or hurting nephews and nieces. Yes. And so I ended up going to the College of St. Rose in Albany, primarily because they took credits and I wasn't a freshman again, and money. And I was welcomed with open arms, and their music program there has grown exponentially in like the last few years. And in doing so, I sort of like found myself diving into like some of the music industry portions of what they offered. Not that that was my major per se, but I found myself growing into more of the music industry rather than the music classical oriented pieces. I finished with a classical degree, but I ended up more or less moving in the vein of 21st century music, so and sort of the pop sounds and stuff.
So you were talking about how you started out training classically as a singer.
Yeah.
And so would you consider that you have a classical technique, vocal technique, or?
To a certain degree I do. There are certain things that I do with my voice that people kind of question how I'm able to switch from my chest voice to my head voice really quickly.
Right.
And like the clearness of my falsetto to some people would be like jealousy. Because a lot of people, they're like, I wish I had your head voice. But a lot of it has been like 8 years of having somebody in my face yelling at me because I'm not using my voice correctly.
Right. All right. I know how that works.
Yeah. And the funny thing with music colleges is that they want to, it's like the military, it's like boot camp. So they want you to want it. And if you don't want it, you will fall through the cracks and get out. So they want the people that really want it. And so in my technique and in my education, I found that the type of people that I was linked up with as teachers knew and understood what I wanted to do 5 years down the road, so they tailored the actual material and repertoire to fit what I was trying to do. So they weren't giving me Puccini. They were giving me like Samuel Barber, with tons of leaps and like atonal passages and something to train my ear. Or they were giving me, for lack of a better like grouping, they were giving me a lot of jazz pieces. So they're giving me parts from Porky and Bess, or they were giving me some show tunes to kind of like broaden my horizon, but also use it as a cabaret to get away with it. So, I mean, I found that my singing is not as good. Well, my singing is good now because of my classical training. Before, I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to emulate other people. Now I'm myself trying to be myself and use the technique to get out the voice. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
it makes a lot of sense.
I think it was Renee Fleming that during recordings with I think Josh Groban was kind of like referring to like the letting go of all of her training, and just I think that if more musicians were able to like let go and just rely on the training but not utilize it to a point where it's deafening, it stops you. And I think that's where she succeeds the most.
So this one's called Up, Up, and Away. It is the title song from the album. things have been happening to me. Happen to me. Happen to me. Up, up and away. Here I am to stay. Oh, then you so down close, don't go away. Up and away. Here I am to stay. How many miles must I walk to get over your gate? Defense stray. Do you know I would stranger things have been happening to me? Happen to me, happen to me, happen to me. Up, up and away, here I am to stay. Oh, then you so damn close, don't go away. Up and away. Here I am to stay. Up and away, up and away. Here I am to stay. Up and away. Here I am to stay. Oh, when you so damn close, don't go away. Here I am to stay. Going up and away. Thank you. Thank you. This one's called Home. Home, Home. So home is where the heart is, but it's also where you find home. So this is for anyone that's still trying to find home. Don't you wanna stay? safe in the things I know to be right. If you run fast, you can see through the trees. Who knows? You may even see me going home. Going home. Hey, little baby, Papa's got a brand new bag for you. Don't you wanna stay the night? All that you gotta do is ba-da-da-bow, 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 da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Stay, little baby. I got the world, I got the world. I'm safe in the light. I'm safe in the things I know to be right. If you run fast, you can see through the trees. Who knows? You may even see me going home. Going Ow. But speaking of October weather, this one's called Halloween, or otherwise known as Cecilia. This is my version of Ants Marching by Dave, but not Ants Marching by Dave Matthews, but my own version of if I was to create something like that. Let's try that again. By 5 a.m. I am already 5 pots of coffee deep, trying to keep going right. But Cecilia, why don't you slow down? I'm sick and tired of running on this merry-go-round. It's Halloween, it's Halloween. By 12 noon, the world and I are miles behind you, trying to keep. But Cecilia, why don't you slow down? I'm sick and tired of running on this merry-go-round. But don't don't you know it's Halloween? It's Halloween. Cecilia, Cecilia, ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes to ashes. We all fall down, 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 down. But Cecilia, why don't you slow down? I'm sick and tired of running on this merry-go-round. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Christmas is coming soon, but let's stick with Halloween. Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Thank you. Thank you. So this last one is called The Beautiful. Beautiful. Take just this little bit of time. The water here is fine. The water here is fine. Take just this little bit of time. I swear by now I would have jumped right in. But you're beautiful to me, baby. Can you see? Can you see? Take just this look around. The grass ain't always greener on the other side of town. Take just this look around. I swear by now you see? Can you see? Thank you. Thank you.
Do you put yourself in any kind of category, a type of genre?
So this has been posed as a question every time that I sit down with someone.
Right.
Because when they listen to my music, they can pull like 5 different artists at different points and at different times when whether I use a piano or whether I use a guitar or a ukulele for that matter. The album that I just put out is all on like guitar. It's not on piano, so it's a little bit different for some people. But if I was to categorize it, a lot of people might say that it's a mix of Dave Matthews and maybe City and Color, or it's a mix of Dave Matthews and a little bit of Hozier, or it's a mix of Dave Matthews, Brandi Carlile, and maybe if you wanted to throw in there some Sting, but like it's an ever-changing thing. I always find myself going towards the indie alternative because it's a mixture of many different things. One of the biggest things in college that was an influence for me was Afrobeat. And like reggae. And just like the sounds that the Police brought to their music was so revolutionary, and it was a fusion that like nobody had. And the same thing with Dave. Like Dave Matthews and like his band, like by themselves, they could play an arena by themselves. They're so proficient, but together they're like this cosmic sort of like, I don't even know, experiment. But the sound that they create is kind of like a mixture of that sort of rock, that sort of Afrobeat, that sort of experimental that I really enjoy.
So was it through listening to these different types of music that you kind of came to your sound?
I think so. I think it was listening to all of those people, as well as finding myself in some of the hardest times in my life. After college, everyone finds themselves eating ramen again. So it was those times where like all I had was my guitar a phone to call home, work, and maybe a gig or two. But it was during those times where I would go to a free show because like I didn't want to like stay at home. And I would meet other people that were from Ghana, or I'd meet other people that were from Chicago, and they were there because they had a jazz gig. And in hearing all of these people, there was like this interconnectedness that like nobody's art is bad. And like I could take a little bit of them and a little bit of them and a little bit of them and recreate what I was doing. So every time that I write a song, it might be a little bit different from before because I've been listening to like this jazz standard, and I might add some jazz chords in it, or I might be listening to the Bee Gees, and I might add some like funkiness to it. So I guess it's a little bit different each time.
And your guitar skills, did those come? Had you been playing guitar since you were a kid, or no?
No.
Okay.
No. That's pure desperations when I didn't want to like eat ramen.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like years of like college, parts of my transition from music education to music performance. A lot of it was like accompanying myself while doing lesson plans and stuff like that, and doing the bare minimum of chord progressions, just like the C, G, E minor, the A, and going off of that. But then I started like really dipping into like Dave Matthews music and trying to recreate it and learning how hard it was. And that's where it was like,
Chord progressions.
yeah. And learning his music felt like I was learning Chopin at the piano. Like I had to learn a new language because like some of his stretches and some of his guitars, like he's the rhythm guitarist. It's very difficult to play his music if you don't understand rhythm. So that's where I like find myself as a musician, as a rhythm guitarist. I don't really find myself as like a shredder. No,
Yeah.
I find myself
not
really.
an Eddie Van Halen type.
No, I wish, but no.
Right.
No, I find myself really doing a good job at keeping everyone together.
Okay. So, how many albums have you?
So, I've only done 2.
Okay.
Both of them have been live, primarily because as soon as I want to do the live album, or as soon as I want to do the full album, things happen, life happens, and the live album just seems more like organic, and you're getting what it would be like if I was out performing live for you, and I like that idea that I'm not giving you something auto-tuned. I'm giving you something that is generic, like it's
Immediate.
yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
But I have one studio album that's hopefully coming out next year. So I'm working on it, trying to refine some of the songs that are on the live album that will also be on the full studio album. So some of the songs that you'll hear off the live album will be on that one. But I've only had 2
Okay.
so far.
And I assume the subjects of your songs. I mean, as a songwriter, that whole process. I know every songwriter has a different process, but do you have a particular process?
It's different each time. I find myself going back to like whatever instrument I'm on depicts how I'm going to write. So if I'm on guitar, generally I find a hook or I find a continuating pattern that I go back to, and then I'll try to find like a word play or like some sort of words that kind of fit that sort of that groove or that sort of feeling, and then I'll start to like see if I can find a theme on top of that. And then sometimes, if I'm at a piano, I will already have lyrics already written, similar to like Elton John, and then I'll just put music to it.
Okay.
But when
So you're your own Bernie Taupin.
I guess, just without the money.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But I will say though that each time I come to write, it's kind of like working out. It's a muscle that sometimes I am not able to use. Over the past few months during quarantine, I didn't pick up my guitar.
Oh, okay.
So I think a lot of people felt the same way.
Yeah.
It was like this deepness of like, just like unknown.
Right.
Because like all of us that are gig artists and musicians, a lot of the quarantine was kind of like us reliving like the loss of like all of our one-on-ones with venues and stuff like that. So
Right.
for me as an artist, like I wasn't able to really sort of get through that the way that I wish I had.
Yeah.
But now that we're kind of like heading towards fall, I've been picking it back up again,
Yeah.
writing again.
Yeah, because you were scheduled to come to be here at the Arts Center back in July.
Yeah, in
right?
July.
Early
July.
To have your album drop concert and a party, and then
Yeah.
COVID-19 hit.
I was supposed to be all over the Northeast, from here to Chicago.
I assume you
Yeah.
had other gigs that had to be canceled.
Yeah, upwards to about 100.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Some of them were still in the works. They weren't on my calendar, but yeah, there was a lot. So
That's so tough.
it is, but thank God for the internet.
Yeah.
Because without the internet, there's a lot of people that I know primarily wouldn't have any way to make money, to live stream, or for that matter, to get their content out. It's a lovely time in Blue Mountain,
It is, and I was
the big
gonna-
city.
Right, the big city of Blue Mountain Lake. I was also going to ask you how does it feel coming